Shalom and greetings to you all. And thank you, friends, for joining me again. I'm always thrilled when you can make it. And I'm sure we all hope that Brett had a great birthday. It's a special one, marking a special year that she had planned. Now, may all your hopes, dreams, and wishes come true in the year ahead. And I mentioned it last week. And don't forget, we just celebrated, although celebrate's a tough word to use, Yom HaShoah, Holocaust Remembrance Day. Now, what you may not be aware of is its official name is actually Yom HaShoah V'Hagavura, which means Day of Remembrance of the Holocaust and Heroism. Well, it's usually not referred to that way. But how can you not, after the unbelievable heroism we witnessed on the last day of Passover at the tragic shooting at the Poway Chabad Synagogue? You know, there was Lori Kay, who sacrificed herself so that the rabbi could live. The off-duty border patrol agent who tried to stop the gunman. And visiting Almog Peretz, who scooped up and saved children. And, of course, Rabbi Goldstein, unflappable, unstoppable. These are today's heroes, and we got to honor them too. Friends, honor the fallen, the victims, the innocents, those from long ago who keep the spark of humanity burning, and those of today who still fight the fight. And remember, this is also a perfect time to fan the flames of education against the rising tide of anti-Semitism. And it is rising everywhere. Have we learned nothing? Well, you know what? It's never too late. And of course, coming up at the end of next week is one of the 2 days we have segregated to honor the fifth commandment, the two-way street between parents and children. Mother's Day is coming. Now, one of the most important relationships we ever have, that with mother. Half of what I say is meaningless, but I say it just to reach you, Julia. 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 Ocean child calls me, so I sing a song of love, Julia. Now, of course, that was John Lennon's ode to his mother. Now, that was a connection taken from him and haunting to him his entire life. The bond between a mother and a child is a special, sacred bond. Relish it. Hold on to it tight. Now, we are connected to our parents, whether we want to be or not. In fact, we're all connected to each other. So let's share that connection right now as we come together as a community. A like-minded, like-souled unification of spirit. The collective consciousness of seekers coming together in a showing of faith, of love. A community, a chavura, fellowship, expressing our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes that unites us all, my friends, in this community house of spirit, Beth Ruach. So once again, please do go ahead, invite everybody you know, physically, psychically, emotionally, spiritually, to gather and share from Psalm 133, the Hine Matov. Come together. Hine Matov, Shevet Achim Kam Hine how good, how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community, 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 together. And as a community, let's all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the world. Remember, friends, this is your sending out some of the goodwill that we all generate. We send it out to the universe to do the good where it needs to be done. And as we send out goodwill and love, let's take a moment to invoke healing and renewal for everybody, everywhere. For everyone you know, for the souls and spirits of everyone you know. So think of whoever you can that needs healing and renewal and love, or just goodwill. Focus on them, call their names. It's not just for people. It's for our pets. It's for the earth. It is the healing of the world, the tikkun olam, that is a part of our spiritual genetic makeup. You know, for Esther, for Jeremy, for Brittany, for Alex, for Kim and Bob, for Chris, My dear friend Cheryl's father, Avram Reuven, suffering with dementia, not knowing anymore. And always for the ever-observant Rosemary. And of course for all of you, because you all need renewal too. Friends, it is the kindness, healing wishes, goodwill, and love we all send out. It circles the world, finding all of those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care. Because the world is a world of spirit, and spirit, my friends, never dies. Me. Have a pain. Makor ha-bracha. May the source of strength bless those before us. Help us find the courage. Make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body. The renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Mishaberach. Let us all have our spirits renewed. This is the great prayer for healing, in which we call upon God to heal as he has healed before. Mishaberach, may he who blessed, because healing is a blessing. Let's all heal as we pray for renewal and show gratitude for the wonders of our lives. Now this week we're reading acharei mot, after death. This was Noah and Ali's wedding parsha. And they have big changes coming this year also. Now this one is usually read with next week's, and next year it will be again. And last week I talked a little about what happens after death. Friends, the soul lives on. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I'm sure we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep smiling through, just like you used to do, till the blue skies drive the dark clouds away. So will you please say hello to all the folks that I know? Tell them I won't be alone. They'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. Now that was a great Vera Lynn song from World War II, although I associate it with the end of Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. But what it also speaks to is what happens after death. The soul of everyone lives on. We do see each other again. So what happens after death? Normally, we read these two pieces together, this week's and next week's. This time we don't, though. And we immediately go out of the blue to something that's not even associated with what we're supposed to be talking about. We go into the rules for Yom Kippur's sacrifice. Leviticus 16:9. And he shall put lots on the two goats, one for the Lord, one for Azazel. And Aaron shall bring forward the goat for which the lot for the Lord comes up, and he shall make it an offense offering. And the goat for which the lot for Azazel comes up shall be set live before the Lord to atone upon it, to send it off to Azazel in the wilderness. Now, much ink since late antiquity has been spilled over the identity of Azazel. But the most common understanding, and a very ancient one, is that it was supposed to be the name of a goatish demon or deity associated with the remote wilderness. And while this is the only reference to Azazel in the entire Tanakh, the simple fact is we do not really know who or what Azazel is. Now, Azazel is not represented as a competing deity rivaling God, but the ritual depends upon a polarity that exists between God, the pale of human civilization, and Azazel, the remote wilderness, the realm of disorder and raw formlessness. It's as though the goat, plied with impurities, were being sent back to the primordial realm of welter and waste that we read about in Genesis 1 before the delineated world came into being. But that realm here is given an animal or demon tag. Now, this is one of the best descriptions of the Yom Kippur process you will ever see. And when he finishes atoning for the sacred zone, and for the tent of meeting, and for the altar, he shall bring forward the live goat. And Aaron shall lay his 2 hands on the head of the live goat and confess over all the transgressions of the Israelites and all their sins, according to all their offenses, and he shall put them on the head of the goat and send it off in the hands of a man for the hour to the wilderness. A person is chosen just for this job. And the goat shall bear upon it all their transgressions to a remote region, and he shall send off the goat to the wilderness. And it shall be an eternal law for you. In the 7th month, on the 10th of the month, you shall degrade yourselves. You shall not do any work, the citizen and the alien who resides among you. And here we have the citizen and alien always together. The rules are the same. And it says degrade yourself. Now, the verb here for degrade is the same word that's used to describe what the Egyptians did to the Israelites. Degradation, affliction. And it's been understood and interpreted to mean that one does not eat or drink or bathe or wear fine shoes on the Day of Atonement. Rather, one humbles oneself, and that's what the degradation is about. Pardon me. Notice also what Aaron is actually doing. Shall atone over the sacred zone. This clause is the conceptual heart of the entire atonement ritual. During the year, the accumulated sins and transgressions and physical pathologies and inadvertencies of the Israelites have built up a kind of smog of pollution that threatens the sanctity of the tent of meeting and the Holy of Holies within it. And by implication for later times, the sanctity of the temple. So this elaborate rite of purgation scrubs everything clean of impurity, making the sacred zone culturally viable for another year. Now remember, all through biblical times, Passover and not Yom Kippur was the most important time of the year. Now later Jewish tradition would transform this ritual of cleansing, this ritual for the purgation of the physical cloud of pollution, into the process we have today of spiritual repentance and atonement. And to cleanse this area, we've a bit of a throwback a week to our Seders when we reviewed the 10 plagues, the first, about the great forbidden food. Now, most sacrifices involve the ritual slaughter of an animal that is to be used for food. In Leviticus, the Lord forbids the slaughter of animals outside of a formal ritual setting. For Leviticus, there is no such occupation as a butcher. If you want to eat meat, you bring an animal to the priest who sacrifices it in the prescribed manner at the altar, retains a portion of it for the substance of the priesthood, gives the rest for you back for consumption. Now, the priests eat their portion according to prescription as well. It's all laid out for them. Specifically, priests eat meat with unleavened bread. As with the laws of Exodus, the reasons for requiring ritual slaughter are not stated explicitly, but there appears to be more at stake than the support of the priesthood. Don't forget, at the beginning of Genesis, humans were vegetarian. And Genesis depicts animals, but not plants, as sharing with humans the quality of being living beings. So humans and animals are considered living beings. Vegetation was not. Following the flood, animals are permitted as food. But now the sacrificial laws of Leviticus recognize that this involves the taking of life. And that decree that life cannot be taken as a secular act of slaughter, because otherwise there would just be wholesale slaughter. So there's a holiness and there's a ritual to the taking of animal life. Okay? And so the Levitical law permits one to hunt game animals such as deer, which can't easily be led to the altar and sacrifice, but you must perform the act of pouring off the blood of the animal, because it says the flesh is life, the nephesh is in the blood. Leviticus 17:12. For the life of the flesh is in the blood. And as for me, I've given it to you on the altar to ransom your lives. For it is the blood that ransoms in exchange for life. Therefore, have I said to the Israelites, no living person among you shall consume blood, nor shall the sojourner who sojourns in your midst consume blood. We all need someone we can lean on. And if you want to, you can bleed on me. We all need someone we can bleed on. And if you want to, you can bleed on me. Now, this is the sacrosanct character of blood as the principal bearer and symbol of life. And with all sacrifices that you read about, the payment is always in blood. Well, I'm grinding my life out, steady and sure, nothing more wretched than what I must endure. I'm drenched in the light that shines from the sun. I could stone you to death for the wrongs that you've done. Sooner or later, you make a mistake. I'll put you in a chain that you never will break. Legs and arms and body and bone, I pay in blood, but not my own. Now, believe it or not, with all this talk about the sacrifice that takes place for Yom Kippur, we are at an incredible juncture of the Torah. This juncture at the beginning of chapter 18 is a turning point. Until now, the laws of Leviticus have all had to do with ritual, with sacrifices permitted, food, all about leprosy, all about strange things that, are ritualistic and rules for the priesthood. The rest of Leviticus will give ethical laws as well, not separately, but completely interspersed with the ritual laws. And turning to the ethical laws, we find that on the one hand, they're easier to deal with than ritual laws. First, because they're fewer, and second, because the reasons behind ethical laws tend to be more readily apparent than those of ritual. Ritual rules are very complicated. We're inclined to question why cows are permitted for food and pigs are not. But when we read a command that you shall not steal, you shall not lie, you shall not act false, we never feel the need to ask why not. On the other hand, what is harder about dealing with ethical laws is that they're not as easily grouped by types. And they are, in fact, usually, not put in long sections of related laws, like the sacrificial laws and the laws of food and purity or the leprosy laws were. The exceptions are the lists of forbidden sexual relations and a group of economic laws. But the ethical laws include diverse matters, as leaving a portion of harvest for the poor, judging cases without bias towards the rich or the poor, honoring the aged, fearing one's parents, not injuring the blind or the deaf, not gossiping, not making one's daughter a prostitute, and not committing adultery. Now, if there's any common denominator to these diverse laws, it's feeling empathy with other human beings and attributing value to the lives of all of them. The laws are not presented as a burden here, but as a blessing and as something to be shared among all humanity. Yes, my friends, the world is sacred. So is everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish, celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom, be well, be happy, and be blessed. Share and honor the light and all who live in the light and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone and into terror and hatred. Remember, friends, we are a community. We learn together, we celebrate each other, we love each other. We share this ride together, men and women equally. Let's send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. And please do learn to forgive and learn to love, including yourself. Open your hearts, honor the relationships of your life. Tell those you love that you love them. Take advantage of the time you have. Enjoy the journey. we take the twists and turns and the patterns that weave through the fabric of our lives and our effort to grow, to learn, to be, to love. So please do love. God bless you all. Have a fantastic week, a week of love and light, a week of peace, a week of miracles. Examine your intentions and use them to imprint your will on the universe, because we set in motion all that happens in our lives. Our intention, our kavana, our cause, our effect, everything is linked. And as I've said, you always have time to forgive and to be forgiven. You have that knowledge of what is good and bad. So acknowledge what you have done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any person you've wronged, and then ask forgiveness. But do so with sincerity, with accountability, with vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you as you learn to be forgiving and be compassionate. Because the secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace, my friends, is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people in the world, just as they are? Can you accept life just as it is without trying to control it? If you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. So do not stop your journey. Keep on dreaming. Keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching. Keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear, follow love. It is always in front of you. And remember to have faith, an unwavering adherence to principle, just as I have faith in the principle of love in all of you. Act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none, defraud none, hate none. Cherish all, honoring every child of God, every creature of the earth. May all people know peace in this year, and may you nurture kindness and love everywhere you go. Work to be present in the body, my friends. Expand your heart and quiet your mind, because the deepest source of real power lies in consciousness and the ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in all of life's circumstances. Make the most of your time in this life. Continue to touch and transform lives around you, because you're never alone. You're forever blessed and have the ability to bring blessings to everybody you meet, health, love, and renewal to everybody you come across. We're all energy, and energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed. Your words, my friends, are your power to transform, to love, to bless. So be generous. Bless others, bless yourself. Love with the heart. We're all part of a greater whole. Embrace love, not fear. Forgiveness, not anger. Be there for someone, because someone's always there for you, whether you know it or not. And continue to explore faith and belief, and do not accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel others have felt, whatever you've experienced, others have too. We share together, we learn together, we help each other. We are each of us trying to find love and acceptance and support. We all have or could have that special someone in our lives, so find them and tell them what they mean. And remember, you're never alone on your journey to your promised land. Watch your words. They hurt you, they heal you, they imprison you, and they free you. Think about the people you need to forgive and those you need to ask forgiveness of. Forgiveness comes from acceptance, and that brings peace. And peace, my friends, can last forever. So enjoy the week. Continue to imprint your will upon the year, and get ready to honor the first of the great relationships of your life. No, I would not give you false hope on this strange and mournful day, but the mother and child reunion is only a moment away. Oh, little darling of mine, I can't for the life of me remember a Saturday. I know they say let it be, but it just don't work out that way. And the course of a lifetime runs over and over again. No, I would not give you false hope on this strange and mournful day, but the mother and child reunion is only emotion away. Mother, light a candle for the souls of the heroes. Call or visit your mother. Show some gratitude in life, my friends. Create a vision for yourself. Expect the unexpected. Shabbat Shalom, blessings to you all, and may the 4th be with you. Take care. Speak to you later.